Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Gita series. Freedom from miseries and pains. To happy, healthy and peaceful life. Based on the Bhagavad Gita, my question and God's answers. And also 108 mantras to awaken your soul. Pranam to Guruji, Hariharji Maharaj. With your blessing, we are gathered here and founded the path to Anandam. To get rid of these disharmonious elements in our life and be anger-free, fear-free, worry-free, stress-free, and live the righteous life and experience path to Anandam, ultimate Anandam. So this is a path. And whatever you see on this page, all is Guruji's blessing. All these bestsellers on Amazon with CDs, with books, and with seminars, webinars, Zoom, to various places, various conferences, organizations. So thank you very much, Guruji, for coming in my life and blessing. And today's session is, actually it is series 23. It is the Karma Yoga, the path to liberation, the path to eternal happiness, peace, Anandam. And today's session especially is the self-assessment of chapter 3, which is the Karma Yoga. We finished it in previous session, and today we are going to assess, am I a Karma Yogi? Whoever is here, all of you have been practicing Karma Yoga. But today is an assessment, lot of questions to myself and to all of us. And just summarizing the barrier to Karma Yoga, what is Karma Yoga, how to overcome the limitations of the Karma Yoga, what stops us to do the Karma Yoga, selfless seva, and how to do our Karma Yoga. Why Karma Yoga? What are the benefits? And what am I going to do to continue with this one? And of course, our sankalpa today is, I am a Karma Yogi. You have heard that before in session 17 also. We are repeating this here to remind ourselves. And then tip of the days and meditation. And of course, question and answers. So we will start with our prayers, seeking guidance and humbleness from Lord Krishna Almighty with our surrender. And this is a sankalpa too, which we have taken it. We have become Arjuna. So this whole journey, this blissful journey of Gita sessions, we have given our reins of our life in Lord Krishna's hands. अब सौंप दिया इस जीवन का सब भार तुम्हारे हाथों में. And asking for his advice. And listening his advice. And then, just like Arjuna, we want to transform ourselves uplift ourselves and unite ourselves with supreme consciousness, or in other words, reach the Param Dham, experience Satchit Ananda. So let's all pray together as a Arjuna to Lord Krishna. Karpanye dosho pehte swabhava paschami tvam dharma samud cheta yachyasyani nishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste ham chadimam tvam prapanyam shishyaste ham chadimam tvam prapanyam shishyaste ham chadimam tvam prapanyam. My heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity. I have lost all of my composure and my mind is confused about my duty, my dharma. I am requesting you to please tell me what is definitely good for me, not what I am bragging, not I am begging you, not I am asking you, but what is the best for me. Please guide me. I am your disciple. I surrender to you. Please instruct me. Thank you, Lord Krishna, coming in my life in the form of Bhagavad Gita and helping to resolve the daily questions which we face every day in our life. So after praying, Lord Krishna pours his Gyan. He becomes a teacher, not the Lord Krishna yet. For Arjuna, he is still a teacher. And Arjuna has become a student here by asking him for advice. So Lord Krishna gives him step by step spiritual instruction manual to operate not just Arjuna's life, but our life, how to perform righteously. It teaches us how to become a karma yogi by doing righteous action for the global interest, sarva bhutite rata, selfless action, thus attain eternal happiness, peace, Anandam, while living in the material world and beyond, realizing our true self, Satchit Ananda. And this is the translation of what Hariharji Maharaj said in his quotations. So we have taken many sankalpas until now. Very first sankalpa we committed that we want to become a new of me from the beginning of the year. Whoever we are, we want to transform ourselves with the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. We want to live in a peaceful life. And this is a step-by-step tool for us. And then in the Sankalpa 2, we become the Arjuna. And then Lord Krishna pours his wisdom on him and guide him that do not worry, get engaged in the war, and don't worry about whether you will be incurring the sins or killing others, because that was Arjuna's concern, that how could he engage in such a war where his gurus, teachers, loved ones, family members are present. And he got very nervous. And that's where Lord Krishna told him, you are not the body, you are the Atma. And he awakened him. He tried to awaken him. He told him, you are eternal. Realize who I am. But it was beyond Arjuna's understanding, because this is the first time he heard. And similarly, when we hear things like that from Gita or we do not understand, then all of a sudden we say, wow, this is what Lord Krishna is saying. But Lord Krishna is such a good teacher, such a merciful teacher. Since Arjuna did not understand this concept of body, soul, temporary of body and the permanent soul, Lord Krishna changed his gears and he said, let me take him to the next place. And teach him, guide him, the language he will understand, because he's a Kshatriya. So let me teach him the language of Kshatriya. And the lesson here is for us is that when we speak to other people, when we are guiding, advising, we should come to the level of that person's level and do not speak the words or the language and the vocabulary which they do not understand. For example, if I'm talking to a group of doctors, I cannot use a Bhagavad Gita's language. I have to use a language in the terms of their diagnosis, their treatments, their symptoms, all that, because those are the symptoms Arjuna had. Arjuna was basically become a sick person over there. He could not stand anymore. His body was shivering. So he was like a sick person. So I had to speak the language to those people, doctors, in that. If I'm talking to the IT people, I have to speak their language, such as do a selfless service, but take this selfishness, means delete your things from your body, your computer, which is your body, and the software which we are programmed. So reprogram. So in other words, we're supposed to speak the vocabulary of the people who understand. Or if I'm speaking to a housewife, I have to take some recipes, speak the language of the kitchen. So we have to speak that particular language. And that's where Lord Krishna explained him that your dharma, your duty is to protect the society. But you have to be equanimous. You cannot be just in the status of the mind you are right now. You have to calm down. You have to awaken your divine senses. Follow the disciplined life. Then you can perform your action. So we have spoken these in different sessions. And then Arjuna asked him that you are telling me to do your karma, follow your dharma, convert every karma into dharma, every activity as a selfless service. But at the same time, you also told me that I'm Atma. So now, since I am Atma, why should I perform the Karma Yoga? I can just learn the Gyan Yoga, do my meditation, go to Himalayas, and just do my meditation and get that wisdom who I am. And then Lord Krishna explains him again give him that you are a Kshatriya. Your path is a Karma Yoga, not the meditation. If you get engaged in the meditation, you will miss out the opportunity of performing your Karma Yoga, because that is your path. That is your righteous path, to do the righteous action. And as also Dinkarji said, that कर्म छोड़ ध्यान में लगोगे तो कर्म तुम्हें आके डसेगा, टाइम तुम्हें आके डसेगा. So we supposed to perform our duty, whatever is given to us. So Lord Krishna takes him again for all these verses from starting chapter 2 to 11. 18 to 66, which are the 574 verses. And teaches him the path of Karma Yoga through a very popular verse. So very first advice was, you are an Atma. You are not the body. Now the second advice is telling him, perform your duty. And then he tells him this through this verse, do your duty, never be lazy. Karmanye vadika raste, ma phaleshu kadachan, ma karma phal hetu bhurma, te sange ast karmani. You have the right to perform your work, but no control or claim on its results. The fruit of work should not be your motive, and you should never be inactive or lazy. And here Arjuna gets very confused what Lord Krishna is telling him. But he doesn't stop there. He tells him how to perform your duty, how to convert your karma into dharma. So he says you have to use your best of your ability, and you have to be calm mind, because life is full of ups and downs. We get disturbed. And he says, when you are disturbed, you cannot perform your duty because your physiology of the body, you have too much cortisol in the body, which brings us up and down like we become a yo-yo game. He says, no, you have to be stable. And he tells him, yogasya kuru karmani, sangam tattva dhananjaya, siddhya siddhyo samabhutva, sammatva yoga uchyate. You're supposed to do the action with a calm mind, and then you will experience me. Then you will hear my inner voice. And that is called samatva, equanimity of the mind. But he also tells him, your buddhi has to be stable, so calm. Then only you can do the yoga karmesu koshlam, because any work you unite with me and then perform the action, then your work becomes selfless, calmness, like buddhi yukto jahatiye ubbe dushkrat ubbe sukrat dushkrate tasmad yoga yugasya yoga karmesu koshlam. Your mind has to be stable, then you can perform your action properly. And then your action becomes karma into dharma. Yoga karmesu koshlam. So why karma yoga and how to perform it? Lord Krishna explains him in chapter 2. Now he gives him, but that was just the abstract. Now he's giving him the detail about the karma yoga, how to perform, because Arjuna is still very confused. He does not understand that yoga karmesu koshlam and buddhi yukta. He is beyond his samaj. So Lord Krishna says, look, why you should be performing karma yoga? Because karma yoga is the foundation, the very first step to self-realization. Why? Because we are bound by our gunas. And based on our gunas, we perform our action. And actually, there is a beautiful tradition in South that when baby is born, and before they give him the name, or when he's kind of is little bit young, like his toddler, then they try to evaluate that how this baby is going to be when he grows up. So they give him a lot of gadgets. Nowadays is a computer, but they give him spoons and then give him the stethoscope, and they just, just let him play. And then whatever baby picks it up, because he's drawn toward from according to his gunas, even though We do not understand why every baby performs differently. But if we closely watch, we can tell what baby is going to grow up into a person and what kind of person he could become or he will become. So according to that, they start guiding him. They say, somebody's told me कि बच्चे के फ्यूचर बच्चे के पांव से पता लग जाता है कि वो अपने पांव कैसे हिलाता है. उसके क्रिब में पता लग जाता है कि वो बच्चा कैसे आगे बढ़ेगा. So वो वहां से पता लग जाता है. We can start noticing his gunas, how calm this person is going to be or how active that person is going to be. But based on that, we are bound to do our action. So we cannot be actionless regardless. So once we are doing the action, we must perform our action properly. And those actions should be for self-purification, because by doing the karma yoga, seva, selfless service, gradually, we get the bhava of tyaga. And once we have the bhava of tyaga, then we start automatically, we start purifying our inner. Jitne bhi man mein gile, shikwe, resentment, all those things start dissolving. We transform. And when we are pure, then we start experiencing who we are, our true being, our true nature, Satchit Ananda. Because by doing this process, our calm, krodh, lobh, moh, ankar, resentment, all these 5 plus 2 enemies start dissolving. So karma yoga does not mean that I have to become a saint and live in the ashrams. Although if one can do it, that's the biggest blessing one can get. Like here, Swami Chidanandji, who is the founder of Parmarth Niketan. His whole life is as a karma yogi. Here, Ma Amriteshwari. I don't know how many you have met her. If you get a chance, she used to come here in San Ramon. She has a big ashram here. And about 10,000 people used to come in the evening to meet her. But due to pandemic, she has not come. Hopefully she comes in November, because she usually comes in June and November. And I had visited her ashram in Kolam. And she's such a karma yogi. The hospitals they have and the colleges they have, I have visited a lot of their places. So one could be a doctor to do the best care for the patient. That's a karma yoga. Mother is taking care of the baby. Usually mothers are always karma yogi, but I put that example that we could be like a mother, not expecting anything in return. That's what the karmanya vadika raste means. Not for me, for others. But we have to make a one point here. Not for me does not mean that I have to be a doormat and I should not take care of myself. Unless I take care of myself, Lord Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita that we must take care of our body, mind, and connect with soul. So first we have to serve ourselves, and then we are able to serve the society. If you have money in your bank, that's the only way you can withdraw it. So first we have to enrich ourselves before we can serve others. And that service could be doing any action or even helping others, uplifting or meditation. Meditation is also an activity which connects us to, purifies our, and takes us away from our barriers and connects us to the supreme power. So basically, be a karma yogi. So again, the summarizing it, how to change our karma into dharma. Work righteously. Puja, worship. So focus on our work again, karmanya vadika raste. Work with love and compassion. selfless service, Sangam Tattva Dhananjaya. Again, my favorite one is given to me by my mother, Neki Kar Kuein Mein Dal. And then with calm mind, have a global vision, Sarva Bhutite Rata, and do our best and let go. So action plus knowledge, with love and compassion, selfless service becomes the art of work, Karma Yoga. So any activity which brings us closer to God, which brings us more peace and love and compassion in us, that is Karma Yoga. So here I put this graphic here, see? So our destiny is in our hands through our action. So this is, it shows a little bit for the future, but even today, if we live in whatever we do, it gives us a peace or it gives us a disharmony based on our actions. Do we argue with other people? What we do? This is what will come in next life. But this shows beautifully about the next life that we have, it's in our hands who we want to be in next life, what kind of action we want to perform, and what we could become in next life. But I know we are the Gita party here, learning. So we are going to be at least another human being and better than who we are. And not only after death, but every day we feel more happiness, more peace. So in summary, the Karma Yoga, the art of work, is the selfless service. Do your best with love and compassion. So this is the stool. We are sitting on a stool of a righteousness. The three arms are selfless service. Do your best with love and compassion. And then we will transform. Whole Bhagavad Gita is about self-purification and self-transformation through our duty. And then we can attain this love, peace, Anandam. So what are the hallmarks of Karma Yogi? We have to ask that question because we have learned so much by now. But Lord Krishna is so merciful. He thinks we might not know that. So he tells us in a Dukheshvanu Vignamana, Sukheshu Vigadisprasha, Vitirag Bhai Krodha, Sthit Dhir Muni Uchate. The Karma Yogi is known as Muni. And what are his hallmarks? His selfish desires are less. He's free from anger, from greed, from attachment, which is a barrier to our peaceful life, being a Karma Yogi, ego, fear, jealousy. And he's fully satisfied. He's free from all. When Arjuna became, he learned. Then he said, Karshe Vachanam Tav. Because before that, as Sanjay explains, that Arjuna, the attitude was not jo tasyati govindam. And then he said, Karshe Vachanam Tav. I will do as you advise. But we have to be in balanced mind. Then we can march, perform our duty as Arjuna is doing it. And the Lord Krishna is guiding him. Then our body, mind, and soul is connected. So here is the assessment, my assessment with action. This is a very important slide. So we have to follow our self-awareness, AAA strategy, live in the awareness. And last session, we had it be a self-witness, divine self-witness. Observe yourself, raise yourself from that, wherever we are, and ask the questions, self-inquiry, action for correction. Swadhyaya Abhyasnam. So very first thing, am I self-disciplined and committed? Here is the word committed, to convert my Kurukshetra into Dharma Kshetra. Do I know my duty? Only duty I have is know the purpose of my life and fulfill it with love and compassion. Then I will experience love, peace, Anandam. Which senses do I need to control? See, we are here, the self-awareness. You can open your eyes. Behoshi mein nahi jeena, live in Jagrati. But know which senses drive me crazy. Is my taste glands? Is my gossip, hearing gossip? Do I see goodness in other people, or do I judge other people? What kind of things do I smell? How do I feel the touch? What senses do I need to work on it? What are my likes and dislikes? Because these senses are the one gives us the likes and dislikes, which we have learned from the previous sessions, that our likes and dislikes. Our dislikes can take us down. We have too many dislikes. I don't like this. I don't like this food. I don't like these people. I don't like this conversation. I don't like this activity. There are too many. What are the activities we like? So we have to get out of this yo-yo game of likes and dislikes, but we should be aware of it. What are my wants? What are my needs? Do I live with the basic needs, what I need? Or my wants drive me? Does not mean that you should not have a good car and you should have a very basic car. Does not mean you should not have a good house, but you should use that as the blessing of God rather than having the attachment to it. जो प्रभु ने दिया है, अच्छा दिया है. जब तक दिया है, अच्छा दिया है, ठीक दिया है. But we should not be attached with it. So, what are my needs? What do I think and do most of the time? Am I selfish or selfless? Do I think about others? Do I think about sharing and caring? And what are my spiritual practices? Do I do my regular yoga, pranayam, meditation, prayers, seva, witness, self-awareness, silence, all those spiritual practices? And at the end, do I surrender? Because even Swami Vivekananda said, the question here is, am I selfish or selfless? And how to become? Use our senses. We should think good. We should see good. We should do good, hear good, speak good. Or this is also called tapa. In chapter 17, when we get there, there are 3 types of tapas. Make best use of your thoughts, your mind, your vani, and your body. And then you can experience selflessness. So as Swami Vivekananda said, are you unselfish? If you are, you will be perfect without reading a single spiritual or religious book, and without going to a single church or temple. And we have examples of many people. For people like us, we do need the guidance. But certain people are so selfless. And I know some of the places, people don't know anything. They just do so much seva. There is a beautiful story about this. And I just don't, I'm compelled to share it. And it comes in our Shastras. It comes from one of the Upanishads and Mahabharata as well. That here is a one saint sitting under the tree. And he is achieved so many siddhis. But he was sitting under the tree, and all of a sudden, he see the some of the drops come on his head. And he looks it up, and he says, he sees a bird who did the shit and put it on and dropped it down. And he got so angry, and he cursed the bird. And bird fell down on the ground and died immediately. So here this fellow goes now to get some food. So he goes to the next close village, and he knocks on one of the door, and he says, Bhiksha Deo. And then the lady said, you have to wait. And he is so upset. And he has to wait because she was serving her sick husband. So when she comes out, he's very angry on her. And the lady says, I am not that bird that you can curse me. I am the sevaka here. And then he gets amazed that how do you know that the bird got killed by my cursing? Are you some saint? Are you God? And she says, no, I'm just a sadhaka. I do the selfless service. That's it. I just do seva for my husband. So in other words, by doing the seva, she was not reading any scriptures, but she was doing apni seva, tan man jo uske paas tha. She became so pure by doing it that she was so connected. And then that saint bows down to her and learns the lesson that purifying yourself is not just that doing the meditation and sadhana, but you also have to purify. Your attitude has to be purified. Your intentions have to be purified. And you have to totally surrender and do everything from your pure heart with love and compassion. So here is my commitment, which is for all of us. I am self-disciplined. I focus on my work, not just on the fruit of work. What is for me? Not on that one. I work without attachment. Selfless work, seva. I work with love and compassion. I work for benefit of all. I work with best of my knowledge, effort, time, and resources. I work with my calm mind. I do my best and let go. So in other words, the self-disciplining is very, very important. Very first step. Then we can do the selfless service, seva. And by doing it, that wisdom, with the story I just mentioned, that wisdom comes, and then connection with Supreme comes, whether we call it Satchitananda, whether we call it eternal happiness. Name is not important. What is important here is we are so connected that we are no different than God. That's where it calls the oneness with God. So we could do any action, wherever action, but we should do it with commitment. Like Gandhiji, he was so committed. The doctors, the surgeon is so committed at that time. He does not think about anything else, but he just thinks to do the best surgery on the patients. So our daily spiritual practices. Here is why daily spiritual practices. The morning we set up our day, our rest of the day goes accordingly because we set the vibration for ourselves. So in the morning, if you could read the Bhagavad Gita or do some mantra or read some biography or autography, and just one thing which I commit to myself for improvement, and then take care of our physical body as well by yoga, exercises, pranayam, meditation. And during the day, we must take that point, whatever we want to improve upon it. And then by little, Shanai Uppar, में बुद्ध्याग्रति ग्रहिता आत्म संस्था मना Pratvana kinchita pichinte. Then don't think about anything else. Just think about that, what you have committed in the morning, what you want to do. Then gradually by gradually, we develop the habit of surrendering to God. Sarva dharma paritajya mamekam sharanam braj. And then Lord Krishna says, don't worry about it. I am here, but we have to take care of it. The evening of the day, we should evaluate, how did I perform? Then do little meditation before going to bed and pray to God and thank God for giving us a beautiful day. There might be some up and downs, but we were not alone. He was with us. And then surrender to him with this verse, Sarva dharma paritajya mamekam sharanam braj. Then we will get out of this birth and death cycle, miseries. And also, here it says, birth and death, rebirth. But Shankaracharya says, death to death. Basically, when we are born, we are going to die. So it is from death to death to death to death to death. We have to stop that cycle by practicing this Bhagavad Gita's teachings right here, which I have shown it before as well. These are the 7 steps which we have spoken before. So gradually by gradually, again, re-emphasizing it through the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, which teaches the Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. But in Karma Yoga, all is combined: devotion, love and compassion with wisdom. So action that is done with wisdom, with love and compassion, with the best interest of all, the universe, which brings us closer to God, is called Karma Yoga. And Gita offers all. And by doing little by little, we become from Jiva Atma to Dharmatma to Mahatma, like Swami Hariharji Maharaj. And then merge with the supreme power, which is the Param Dham, Paramatma, highest supreme consciousness, oneness with God, whatever you want to call it. But this is what ultimately experiencing the ultimate happiness, bliss. And we from our lower self, from our tamasic nature, we go to more rajasic and sattvic, and then finally we become the gunati. That is the ultimate prasad of supreme peace in life. So action is yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat juhasi dadasi yat. Yat tapasvi konte tat kurush madarpanam. Do everything, whatever you do, and offer to God. And do your best with love. So as Satya Sai Baba says, love all, serve all. So we have done all these sankalpas before, one by one. And today is session 23. Our sankalpa is, I am Karma Yogi. I am Sevaka. I am Sadhaka. And then gradually by gradually, Shanai Shanai Uttarmai. Slowly by slowly, we will reach to our goal, purpose of life. So always have a patience, not because it is not an activity. It is a lifestyle. So we have to change our lifestyle into that. So the homework here is, again, ask the question, how do I think? How do I work? How do I eat? How do I sleep? How do I talk? How do I contribute? So self-inquiry is the only path for self-improvement, self-awareness. If we are not aware of this, how could we improve? So we have to live in Jagrati. And here it says, how do I sleep? Our next session will be on Yog Nidra. So self-purify, self-healing through Yog Nidra. So please make sure to join. So tip of the day, again, this is so important. awareness, Arjuna became aware that he could not perform his duty. He accepted it. Similarly, we have to accept, we have to learn to live acceptable. But first we have to be aware and ask the question, why am I doing it? Will this lead me to fulfill the purpose of my life or not? Will this action increase my ego, attachment, greed, and desires, which are the enemy? Varinam, we have discussed that. Who are our enemies to achieve, experience ultimate Satchitananda? These are our Varinam, Paripanthne. Do I do these things for name and fame? Will it calm my mind or disturb? Will it enhance my eternal happiness, peace, abundance, or disturb me? If the answer to above is not favorable, please do not proceed. Because our life is cause and effect. Every action, our every action must lead to an eternal prosperity, means abundance. Prosperity, what is our prosperity? Our prosperity is our peace, Anandam, and ultimately attend to the peace. So, this is a poem I have on one of my book, Prosperity Forever. This is called Just for Today. Again, my commitment that just for today, I take full responsibility of my action. I have faith in myself and Almighty. I give more and expect less. I let go of all my worries, my fears. Just for today, I respect myself and others. Pay attention. I respect myself. I am not moorkh, like we say it in Aarti, main moorakh kal kami. Swamiji said, never call yourself moorkh. Respect yourself. You are part of me. You are part of God. And God is not, if we call ourselves moorakh, means we are calling God has done something wrong to us. No. So respect yourself. I love myself and others. I think positive. I speak the truth. And just for today, I thank others. I enjoy myself and smile. I meditate and pray. I relax. And just for today, I am happy, peaceful, and I am in Anandam. So thank you very much for attending how to become a Karma Yogi. Happy, healthy, and peaceful life. Sat Chit Ananda.